Have you ever thought about the weirdest Christmas traditions out there? Well, I bet the British royal family's tradition might just take the cake. Picture this: it's Christmas Day, the air is filled with the scent of roasted turkey and festive cheer. And what's the first thing on the agenda for the royals? Stepping on the scales? Yes, you heard that right. Before they can even think about tucking into their magnificent Christmas feast, each member of the royal family, from the king down to the youngest attendees, has to be weighed. This isn't some new health fad, it's a quirky tradition that dates back over a century to the reign of King Edward VII. Now, Edward was a king who really loved his food. He was a proper connoisseur, a gourmet, and he wanted to make sure his guests were enjoying having a great time just as much as he was. So, he came up with a simple, if slightly unusual, way to measure their enjoyment: their weight. The idea was straightforward. Guests would arrive at the Sandringham estate, the royals' private country home, where they traditionally spend Christmas, and they would be weighed on a set of antique scales. Then, after all the festivities, after the turkey, the pudding, the brandy butter, and all the other indulgent treats have been consumed, they step on the scales again. The goal? To have gained weight. Gaining weight was seen as a sign that you had been well fed and had thoroughly enjoyed the hospitality. It was the ultimate compliment to the host. According to royal experts, gaining at least 3 pounds was considered a success. Anything less might suggest you hadn't had a good enough time. Imagine the pressure. You're not just making small talk with a prince. You're also mentally calculating if you've eaten enough to meet the royal standard of festive fun. This tradition has been carried on through the generations. Queen Elizabeth II was known to be a stickler for tradition, and she kept this one going throughout her long reign. It's reported that she found the whole thing highly amusing, and would watch with a twinkle in her eye as her family and guests took their turn on the old jockey scales. Even new additions to the family have had to partake. When Meghan Markle spent her first Christmas at Sandringham, she would have been introduced to this bizarre ritual. Same for Catherine, the Princess of Wales, back when she first joined the family. It's a sort of festive initiation, a quirky welcome into the inner circle of the world's most famous family. Can you imagine your first Christmas with the in-laws involving a weigh-in? It certainly adds a whole new level of holiday stress. But what exactly are they eating to ensure they pack on those pounds? Well, a royal Christmas dinner is, as you'd expect, quite an affair. It starts with a shrimp or lobster salad, followed by a traditional roasted turkey with all the trimmings, stuffing, gravy, and Brussels sprouts. But we're not talking about your average family meal. There are usually several turkeys to ensure everyone gets their favorite part. After the main course comes the Christmas pudding, served with brandy butter and doused in flaming brandy, a real spectacle. And the eating doesn't stop there. The festivities are an all-day affair. There's a full English breakfast in the morning, the main lunch, and then a massive buffet in the evening featuring a whole cured ham, cheeses, and all sorts of decadent desserts. It's a marathon of eating, not a sprint. The chefs at Sandringham work for days to prepare this incredible spread. So, gaining 3 pounds might not be as difficult as it sounds when you're faced with that much delicious food. The tradition also speaks volumes about the history of the monarchy. In Edward VII's time, being plump was a sign of wealth and health. It meant you had access to plenty of food, which wasn't a given for everyone. So, for the king, seeing his guests leave heavier than they arrived was a tangible sign of his generosity and the prosperity of his reign. Today, our views on weight and health have changed dramatically, which makes this tradition seem even more eccentric and a little out of touch. Yet, it persists. It's a link to the past, a piece of living history that connects the current royals to their ancestors. These traditions, no matter how strange they seem to us, are part of the fabric of the institution. They're private family moments that occasionally leak out and remind us that behind the crowns and the ceremony, they are still a family with their own set of oddball customs, just like many of us. Although, I doubt many of our family traditions involve antique scales and a 3-pound weight gain target. It's also said that this tradition is a bit of a joke, a light-hearted way to kick off the celebrations. It's not meant to be taken too seriously, but rather as a bit of fun. A way to break the ice and set a tone of indulgence and enjoyment for the rest of the holiday. In the highly formal and protocol-driven world of the royals, these small, humanizing moments are probably quite welcome. It's a chance for them to laugh at the absurdity of it all. While it's not officially confirmed if King Charles III has continued this tradition with the same gusto as his mother and great-great-grandfather, royal insiders suggest it's likely still in place. Charles is known for being a blend of a modernizer and a traditionalist, and he understands the importance of these historical links. So, it's very probable that this Christmas, just like Christmases for the past 100 years, the first order of business at Sandringham will be to weigh in. So, next time you're feeling a little guilty about that extra slice of Christmas cake or one too many roast potatoes, just remember the royals. They're literally being encouraged to overindulge. It's practically a royal duty. It makes our own holiday feasts seem quite modest in comparison, doesn't it? What do you think about this tradition? Is it a harmless bit of fun, or a totally outdated practice? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think is the strangest royal tradition. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this little peek into the weird world of royalty, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. See you in the next video.